It was just another scorching afternoon on the dusty outskirts of Phoenix, Arizona. In the distance, tall glass towers shimmered like mirages in the heat. But here on a quiet street outside a gated estate, the contrast was stark. A crimson SUV idled at the entrance of one of the most luxurious properties in the region, its sleek frame gleaming under the sun. Behind the wheel, a driver waited, eyes flicking now and then to the mansion's grand front door. Inside, Celeste Whitmore, a self-made billionaire, celebrated for her ruthless business acumen and icy composure, was fastening the last button on her tailored navy blazer. She adjusted her cuffs, slipped on her platinum watch, and nodded once at her reflection. Celeste didn't just manage companies. She built them from nothing. From tech startups to clean energy empires, everything she touched turned to gold. Today, she was heading to finalize the biggest merger of her life. But fate was waiting at the gate. As Celeste descended the marble steps, her heels echoing in the quiet afternoon, she barely noticed the small figure just beyond the security barrier. A boy, no older than 10, stood motionless, his tattered clothes clinging to a thin, dust-covered frame. His eyes, dark and steady, carried a weight far beyond his years. "Miss, please," he said softly. Celeste stopped, her brow furrowing. The security guard stepped forward, ready to shoo the child away, but she raised her hand. "What did you say?" she asked. "Please don't go. Something bad is going to happen at that place." His voice was eerily calm. Though his lips quivered, his eyes remained locked on hers. Celeste tilted her head, unconvinced, but curious. "What place?" "The glass building, the one with the silver lion statue out front," he replied instantly. That was the precise location of her confidential meeting. Only her top executives knew where it was. A chill crept up her spine. She knelt, keeping some distance. "Who told you this?" "No one," he said. I saw it in my sleep." It was absurd. A starving boy spinning dreams on the sidewalk. She straightened, brushing off the thought. "You should be in school, not making up stories." But the boy didn't move. "If you go, you'll regret it." Celeste turned to the guard. "Take him to the Oak Ridge shelter. Make sure he eats." Then, climbing into the SUV, her hand trembled. She signaled the driver to proceed, but something gnawed at her. Halfway down the road, she shouted, "Turn back!" The driver blinked, but obeyed. She didn't have a logical reason, only a gut feeling. The merger could wait. That decision saved her life. An hour later, breaking news exploded across every station. Massive blast at Midtown Office Tower, dozens injured in suspected gas explosion. Celeste froze, eyes glued to the screen. It was the very building she was supposed to be in. Same time, same floor. She whispered one word. "The boy." She ran out, searching the gate where she had seen him. He was gone. Not the next day, not the next week. Celeste hired teams. She offered rewards. She questioned every vendor, every child in nearby neighborhoods. No one had seen a boy in a yellow shirt with clasped hands. But 3 days later, her driver spotted him, curled under a cracked bench behind a corner store, knees pulled to chest. Celeste stepped out, knelt beside him, and gently touched his arm. He flinched awake, but didn't run. "You again," he murmured. "You saved my life," she whispered. "I just told you what I saw," he said. "What's your name?" "Micah." She nodded. "Come with me, Micah." "No one's ever asked me that," he said, dazed. That day, Celeste did more than feed him. She brought him into her home. And if this moment touched your heart, please pause and hit that subscribe button. Every story we share has a hidden truth, an unexpected turn, a reason to believe again. Let's keep these powerful stories alive, together. Micah didn't just get shelter. He got a bed, clean clothes, and, most importantly, a place where he belonged. He didn't speak much at first. He hoarded food. He never let anyone touch his backpack, but Celeste never pushed. She gave him time. What amazed her most? Micah's intuition. He could sense when something felt off. When one of her investors was about to pull out, when stocks would crash, Micah had a gut feeling. He became her silent compass. Celeste enrolled him in private school, took him to meetings, introduced him to her network. He learned everything, how business worked, how people worked. He gave her something she hadn't felt in years: wonder, trust, hope. One night they sat on the balcony. "My mom used to get dreams too," Micah said. "She said sometimes they were warnings, sometimes memories. I think I got it from her." "What happened to her?" Celeste asked gently. "She died in a fire. Our building's wiring failed. We tried to get out." He trailed off. Weeks later, while going through old documents, Celeste found a lease with a name that froze her in place. Helena Boone. A tenant in a low-income complex her first company once managed, the same building that burned, the same fire that took Micah's mother. Celeste's chest tightened. She wasn't involved in the fire. She didn't even own the property by then. But the records still bore her signature. The boy who saved her life had already been in her story long before she knew it. When she told him, her voice shook. But Micah didn't scream. He didn't cry, he said. Then maybe this was supposed to happen. From that day, they weren't just mentor and student. They were family. Eventually, the media found out. Headlines called it luck. They didn't give interviews. Their story wasn't for fame. Instead, Celeste started a nonprofit, the Boone Foundation, named after Micah's mother. They installed fire safety systems in struggling neighborhoods and taught risk prevention. Micah, by 16, was leading fundraisers. By 18, he was pitching initiatives to her board. At a city gala, Celeste stood beside him as he received an award. "Do you remember the day you stopped her at the gate?" a reporter asked. "I didn't know who she was," Micah said. "I just knew she shouldn't go." "And now? She's the reason I'm alive," he smiled. "But more than that, she's the reason I know who I am." Later that night, Celeste handed him a small envelope. "What's this?" he asked. "A key," she said, "to your office." "My what?" "You're ready. The next company will carry your name." Micah looked down at the key. "Are you serious?" "As serious as I was when I told you. You are family." He clutched the key, whispered, "I'll make you proud." "You already have," she said. As their car moved past the skyline, once cold and distant, now warm and bright, Celeste looked back to that moment outside the gate. One boy, one warning, a miracle hidden in dust. Fate hadn't just sent her a stranger, it had sent her a son.